I watched the Monster Hunter movie and I feel dead inside. I'm making this video so I can dump every memory I have of this movie out of my brain so I never have to remember anything about this movie, and hopefully so I can convince you to never, ever watch this movie or even acknowledge its existence. Yes, maybe you're a Monster Hunter fan. Yes, maybe you're curious. Maybe you're a film buff that wants to see all the game adaptations. Do not watch this film. It is worse than I could have even imagined. I know it was bad. I was told not to watch it, and I haven't really had any interest in watching it for the last 2 years. But then the community, specifically Blue, one of the mods, he suggested I watch it with the community as a fun evening thing, and so that I would be aware of things. I was like, you know what? As a bunch of people together, a bunch of fans, just watching something like to fun hate on it, that sounds like a good time. It's not even like a good action film. It's not a good like B, whatever you call them. It's just not a good time. You can't even enjoy hating on it. The first 2 minutes of the movie opens up, and honestly, I was smiling because I was like, this is showing a lot of promise. There's a sand ship. You see the handler for a moment. You see Diablos like chasing the sand ship. You're in the Monster Hunter world, and I'm like, these effects look pretty good. I like where this is going. I'm like going, aha, I know that reference, aha, and everything's good. Right after that, you get transported as an audience member to our world, as indicated by a can of Coke. And then you get introduced to a bunch of military people that there's no reason for you to care about them, who are in the desert. Why? Who knows? Who cares? They get a little bit of camaraderie to show that, oh, these people know each other, but the movie does nothing to build any rapport with the audience. You just don't care about these characters. There's no point for them being in the desert. There's no point of where they're going. And then all of a sudden, a storm kicks up out of like Fortnite. And they're like, oh, we got to get out of the storm. And then it's like, okay. And then they're being chased by a storm. They go in the storm. And then as an audience member, you are assaulted by strobe lights, quick cuts, slow-mo. It is freaking the worst editing I have. I hate this about editing. I hate this about, like, I see it a lot in Hollywood editing. It's just slow motion. Like whenever it's action, it's like, oh, let's cut real quick so the audience doesn't know what's going on. Whatever happened to let the film show the story? Stop cutting things so fast. So I'm like, what's going on? And I understand the hypocrisy that sometimes these videos and these journals are cut a little bit fast. And then all of a sudden, the crew is now in the new world, or not the new world of Monster Hunter, and they're still in a desert, and they're still like, what do we do? And so they see an island, which is the only thing in the desert, so they're like, let's go to the island. And then all of a sudden they are all singing merrily, having a good time, and you're like, oh, this is the setup of they're happy, therefore everybody's going to probably die soon. And of course they get attacked by a black Diablos of all things, which is, why is a black Diablos attacking things? It's not its territory. There's no plant life to be seen. It's just all of a sudden just attacking things. And I think at one point I don't know if it eats a human or not, but anyways, it's just out of character. And so, oh no, Black Diablos attack. Look, all these people are dying. And then all of a sudden they make it to the island, and then they just, out of nowhere, let's throw a million Nursillas. Why not? So now there's Nursillas, and all of a sudden this film turns into a Starship Trooper film where it's like, oh, shoot all the bugs everywhere, and then the bugs are like killing everything, and then boom, you better hold on to your seats, because now we're in a horror film where you're gonna see some nasty stuff. There is dark scenes, slow motion again, horror coming out everywhere. Then there's some soft gore, like things getting ripped up, blood everywhere. It's like, oh my goodness, what is happening? What are you doing to me? And then fast forward to the next film genre that we hop to. We're now in survival. We're in a survivor where we're following the story of a character called Artemis as she tries to survive the desert, and then encounters a local who, she doesn't like, and he doesn't like her for some reason. And they don't talk. At this point, I think we're an hour into the film. The dialogue was so light. Blue and I were able to talk over the film and not miss anything because there was little dialogue. Again, what is the point of all this? We have no plot. We have no reason to understand why we should care about this character. Where is the character going? What is happening in this world? Who cares? Because, hey, here's another monster. You know that monster from the game, Nursilla? Yeah, here it is. And so anyways, they come up with a plan because they're stuck on this island filled with Nursillas, which, by the way, Nursilla is afraid of the sun for some reason in this film, which, that's not lore accurate at all. And so during the day, they're safe from the Nersillas, but they can't go away from the island because there's a black Diablos basically like roaming around like a shark, just waiting for them to walk out into the desert and get. So they have to figure out, how do we leave this island? And look, there's a tower over there. It's very ominous. We should probably go to that. It literally looks like the Tower of Sauron.
Like a blue Sauron.
They hatch up a plan to use the Nersilla stinger to put the Black Diablos. Honestly, this sounds way more interesting than it really is. It is not. And so they put the Black Diablos to sleep. Another action scene, more slow motion, more strobe lights, because why not? And then they've book it to the tower. Now, at this point, you're over an hour into the film. You're 2/3 into the film. And I would say at this point, they start maybe getting things interesting again, because you get introduced to the Admiral, to the serious handler, to the other handler. The Meowscular chef is there. And then you're all like, reference. Okay, we're getting into a Monster Hunter movie. And then there's a Rathalos, and you're like, okay, this is getting interesting. And then boom, let's do another fight with a Rathalos that's just, this thing is like ginormous for no reason. We still don't really know why we're fighting a Rathalos or what's going on, but we do know that this tower is responsible for creating portals to the world. And so through the fight, we end up with a Rathalos in our world, still in the desert. They kill the Rathalos, and then they're like, the Admiral's now in our world, the hunters are in our world, and they're like, haha, we can't let our monsters be like. And then it's like, haha, look at me, I'm Gore Magala showing up out of nowhere. You're like, what? And that's like credits roll. What the hell is this all about? And also, if you wait long enough, there's a mid-credit scene where it's like mystery figure is hovering around the tower, and I'm like, no, you are not making a sequel to this movie. You are never even touching this IP. Nobody should be giving anybody money to make anything of this quality. It's not a good action film. It's definitely not a good Monster Hunter film. It's not a good game adaptation. It's not good at anything. The editing is bad. The writing is terrible. The acting, I can't comment on the acting because chocolate. The one thing I will give it credit for is the monsters looked really good. So Rathalos, Diablos, and even Gore Magala, they all looked really good. So props to the CGI team and the visual effects team. That's probably the only thing I can really say that's good about this. Is there anything else that I need to talk about? And also Army. Really, why are we bringing the Army into this? Armies and monster films. It's such a trope, and I hate Hollywood for including like army tropes so much in their films. It feels lazy at this point. It's just not interesting to look at. It's just like, oh yeah, it's always the same thing. Look at all this cool military equipment we have. Look, we're strong, egotistical military like characters. Ho ho ho. It's just not interesting to look at. So, do I regret having seen this film? Yes, absolutely. And this is why I'm putting out this video as a warning to you. Don't watch it. If you haven't already, don't even entertain. Don't watch it on speed. Just watch this video. You now understand the film. I have pretty much divulged the entire contents of the film. Is there any other even reference that I'm missing from this film? Oh, there's a stupid switch axe move, which is garbage. The switch axe shows up. The Admiral has a switch axe that he holds out in axe mode all the time, so it doesn't even switch. And all he keeps doing is slamming it on the ground, and fire comes out of it in like a path, like a fire path. He can blast like almost like a massive linear Hadouken, and he just blasts it with the switch axe. I was like, can I do that with my switch axe? I've never seen that move. How do you execute linear Hadouken fire blast? Because that looks cool. You could put that in the game. So anyways, Monster Hunter movie. It's a shitty experience. It's not a good use of your time. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep it classy.